name's Kevin Millar. First of all, I want to thank Bobby Bloom, I just learned tonight, for allowing me to be here. This is pretty cool stuff. I've learned a lot. It's like real world stuff because that was like Disneyland. I played 12 years in the big leagues. I never was drafted. I grew up in Los Angeles, California. As a kid, always wanted to become a baseball player. That's all I knew. That's all I wanted to do. Wasn't a great student, about a C student. But I think I had to cheat to be that. That's the honest to God truth. But I always wanted to play in the big leagues. High school, senior year, you have a chance to be drafted. Every June, there's a Major League Baseball draft. Wasn't drafted as a high school senior. Went to a junior college, LA City Junior College, which was down the street from USC, not a great area. Freshman, sophomore year, went there, had a chance to be drafted those 2 years, wasn't drafted. I was taking ground balls late one night, and a college coach named Jim Gilligan was randomly in Los Angeles recruiting for a school called Millar University, which was in Beaumont, Texas. We got an LUC? LU! Let me see if I do that. LU! You don't get that too often. That's big time, brother. Movie went to USC graduate school. That was Millar University. So, Jim Gilligan from Millar University was there at LA City Junior College. I'm taking ground balls, and he tells a story where I was taking 20 balls, and I caught 2 of them, and 18 of them went off my chest. And he said, I got to have that kid. So he invited me to go for a recruiting trip. I went to Lamar with my dad. I'm like, where in the heck is Beaumont, Texas? I've never heard of Beaumont, Texas. We landed. Hillbilly deluxe, rednecks, big belt buckles, smelled like crap, like sulfur plants everywhere. I'm like, where am I? It's like the world stopped. Okay, no, Beaumont's beautiful. Gorgeous area. Huge mountains. The Pitcher's Mountain. Went there my junior and senior year. Had a chance to be drafted then. Wasn't drafted. Houston Astros, my senior year, went 90 rounds, I think late 80s. I was thinking, bro, I can't get drafted in the 85th round? 87th round, maybe? Crickets. So now I've had 5 years to be drafted. Wanted to play in the big leagues. It's my life. That's my dream. That's who I was. I was a ball player. Wasn't a great ball player. Was good. Didn't run well. Didn't throw well. Fielded okay. Could hit the fastball. That's about it. But they judge you on this toolbox. 5 tools: speed, power, defense, average, throwing arm, all 5 tools. Didn't sniff the draft. So now I'm like, what do? It was a true story. I went and got a 12-pack of beer. It was my senior year. Draft's gone. Went and got a hotel, and I was crying. I was sitting there going, what in the world am I going to do now? There's this Northern League that came out. Jim Gilligan, my college coach, called me and he said, listen, you got to go try out for this Northern League. It's an independent league. It's not affiliated with any major league team. It's just wood bats. It's pro baseball. You're going to get paid. I got to go make that team, though. It's in St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm like, oh my God, St. Paul, Minnesota. I get on a plane 2 days later, fly to St. Paul. First guy I meet in the lobby was a guy named Leon Durham. He was the first baseman for the Chicago Cubs back in '84. His nickname was the Bull. I'm like, Bull, what's up, Big Pimp? Give knuckles. I think this is big time. I got Leon Durham's here. He's checking in. He says, do you want to be roommates? Awesome. 4 guys, 1 bedroom, made $600 a month. All true. Played for the St. Paul Saints in 1993, and 1 scout sat in the stands. We ended up winning our championship that year. It was a little independent league. Okay, great. It was the coolest thing I ever thought, but you look back now, 1 scout in the stands named Gary Hughes came up to me and said, kid, I want to sign you. I was like, wow. He signed myself and 2 other players, a pitcher and a center fielder. A 3-man package for $5,000. The Saints got 25% of that. That's how they made money. We got like $912. I thought I made it big time. I'm going to Florida Marlins. 1994 spring training, I got $912. Took all my buddies out to the Outback Steakhouse in Beaumont, Texas. I got this, boys. Cheesecake's on me. Salad with lemon wedges, that's all you get. But went to spring training 1994, played with the Marlins, 5 years in the minor leagues. Got to the big leagues in '98 to 2002. Went to Boston. 2003 with the Boston Red Sox. This is when my life started changing. And the reason why I say that is because watching that video, it's a lot like what we're here today. We're talking about execution, teamwork, sports, baseball, football. With 2003, the Red Sox were okay in 2002. Theo Epstein was a 28-year-old general manager. That was the first year of his general managing year was in 03. He brought in a bunch of no-name guys, like myself, a guy named Bill Millar, a guy named Dave Roberts, a guy named Mark Bellhorn, Orlando Cabrera, guys that you've never really heard of if you're not a baseball fan. And here the mighty Yankees are in our division. Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Roger Clemens, Bernie Williams, Mariano Rivera, Jason Giambi. Way better on paper. So, 2003, I signed with the Red Sox. We have a great year. We end up in Game 7 with the New York Yankees. Pedro Martinez is on the mound. We're up 5-2 in the 8th inning. 2 outs. We lose that game in the 14th inning. They end up tying that game up. And Aaron Boone, or 11th, I forgot what exact inning it was, but Aaron Boone hits the first pitch knuckleball off of Tim Wakefield for a home run and walks us off in 2003. In Game 7, in Yankee Stadium, 67,000 people. I'll never forget it. Place is rocking, and we're walking off the field. Grown men in the clubhouse crying. Like, what just happened? What just happened? Game 7, great series, we're going home. Fast forward 2004. Same group of guys. We added Kurt Schilling. We had a closer named Keith Folk. And we end up against the New York Yankees again. And now, when I talk about a team, we were a team. We were not the best players. We were a team. And I love telling the story because it relates to life. It relates to business. It relates to anything we talk about as a team. You guys are a team, and there's all kinds of teams. We have Team Canada that stood up. We have the Give It Up for Toronto. Maple Leafs, you guys are going to be okay one day. Cubs, you guys are going to be okay also, Chicago. Maybe this year. We heard about it. Tommy gave me up. But we're talking about a team. And that's what makes it so cool. So here we are in 2004 against the New York Yankees. We walked off the field a year ago. We are now down 3-0 in the 7-game series. That quick. Alex Rodriguez, I'm holding him on first base in Game 3, and they beat us 19-7. And I'm like this, and he's taking his lead. Hey, Kevin, I own a Mercedes dealership in Houston. You need a good Mercedes. I'm looking at him like, I don't know where to choke him. Get a cell phone number for the Mercedes. For what? We're the game. It's like the 4th inning. They're killing us. He thinks it's over. Huh. You got to win 4 games. So we get beat 19-7 in Game 3. So we're down 0-3. They killed us. Next morning, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm reading the paper. True story. I'm going to the bathroom. I sit down when I go potty. Nothing wrong with that. And there's a reporter that was in that video. He has a red perm. His name's Dan Shaughnessy from the Boston Globe. He called us frauds. Now, I had a problem with that. Yankees might be better, but I didn't think we were frauds. They might be better, but I don't think we're frauds. It's all right. So as I got done going potty, went to the field, Game 4, and there he was. He walked in, and I called him out. Your hair sucks. We're all guys like, hey, Dan, your hair sucks. He's walking around. Yeah, your hair sucks. Had nothing to do with anything. But it just came out of my mouth. His hair sucks. All right. But he got embarrassed. I wanted to embarrass him. So then as we're walking out, I said, why are you so hard on me? I said, Dan, you called us frauds. You look at Pedro Martinez and tell me he's a fraud? You look at Kurt Schilling, David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, they're frauds? We're down 0-3. The Yankees might be better, but we're not frauds, I promise you that. So on the field, that's the part you see. As I said, don't let us win tonight. If you let us win tonight, then we had Pedro Martinez and Kurt Schilling, and then anything can happen in Game 7. That was my belief. So my job as a teammate was to go around and get these guys to believe. Guys are down. We're down 0-3. It's never happened in the history of sports. Has a team ever come back to win 4 straight games in a 7-game series? Let alone beat the mighty Yankees. Payroll's $1 bazillion. We're just bad-body beer drinkers hanging out with the city of Boston. We had great facial hair, though. I'm going to tell you that right now. We could beat them. I always told Derek Jeter, I said, real quick off the track, I said, Derek, you have everything. You're hot, you're good-looking, you got all the chicks, you got money, you got 5 rings, but I got way better hair than you. Your hair sucks, Derek. So no matter what, I got better hair than Derek Jeter. But my job as a teammate was to make these guys believe we have to win tonight. I don't care how we do it, but we have to win tonight. Period. Because if we do, just watch. For some reason, they caught this on camera and on tape, and it went the exact same way as we said. We found a way to win that game that night. 12 innings, David Ortiz hits a walk-off homer. Game 5, he walk-off base hit, 12th inning. Now we're going to Yankee Stadium. Game 6, we win in Yankee Stadium. You want to talk about some tight little you-know-whats over there in that Yankee dugout? Where's that Mercedes talk? Come on, big pimp. I thought we get Mercedes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Now we're Game 7. And I say this all the time. Rarely do you have a chance to leave your hotel room and so you have a chance to shock the world. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I was leaving my hotel. Today, if we win, we have a chance to shock the world. It was the most watched playoff game in the history of baseball. Biggest rivalries at that time. We hated each other at that time. Now it's a little bit kissy, huggy, everybody's friends. But back then it was, we brawled, we respected each other, but it was just a different scene. They were tall and rich and good looking, and we were just kind of like this, bad bodies, guys. So we have a chance to shock the world. We show up to Game 7, we have better hair. You're exactly right. Who said that? We get to the field, and we crush them. We crush them, we beat them, we shock the world, we go on to win the World Series against St. Louis, sweep them. Those poor little souls had no chance at that point. God bless them, St. Louis fans. And we broke an 86-year curse. 86-year curse, the city of Boston. So it brings me back to why I'm here. It's about teamwork. It's about believing. It relates into anything you want to talk about in the life. You form a team and you try to surround yourself with good people. You try to surround yourself with doing the right thing. Integrity. Honesty. And I always tell kids, it's what you do when the coach isn't looking. We know when coach is looking, you're hey. But do you look in the mirror when you brush your teeth? Or do you look down when you brush your teeth? And y'all know who the good ones are, and y'all know who the ones, if he would only do a little bit more, if she would just do a little bit more, or vice versa. But it goes great when everybody's pulling from the same road. And that's an example. And the only thing that's a part of my life and my story is that team. We were definitely not the best players, trust me. Kevin Millar at first, Mark Bellhorn at second, Orlando Cabrera at short, Bill Miller at third, Veritek behind the plate, Trot Nixon, Johnny Damon, Manny Ramirez, who didn't even know what city he was in. And you went around their team, A-Rod, Jeter, Soriano, Jambi, Gary Sheffield, Bernie Williams, Matsui, Posada. Bro, really? But we were a team. When we rolled, we had 18, 20 deep eating. When they rolled, they had VIP, 4 limos. So that's what it's about, is building a team, getting guys to believe, getting girls to believe, getting whoever, that team to believe in the task at hand. And whatever that is. And there's no difference than professional sports, Major League Baseball, NFL, basketball, BOSCH, windshield wipers, Louis. spark plugs, whatever. It's really cool when it works. And, Bobby? That brings back a lot of memories, though. It's been 10 years already, almost 11 now. And it's pretty cool to watch because that was a special time that changed my life forever. Now Boston's like a family. I've always lived 2 lifestyles, Beaumont, Texas. They don't know anybody but George Strait. So you're there like, you're just Bob. And then you go back to Boston, you're like Aerosmith. But other than that, I do appreciate y'all listening to the story. Some are bored. I understand that. Totally get it. Some get it. But thanks for having me, and we're going to open this up, I think, to some Q&A and questions. If you have any questions, ask me. Girls, shower bodies. I got great stories. And Mr. Booby Bloom's going to be coming up here. You're Booby for the rest of your life, just so you know.
First off, one question I got before, and we don't have a ton of time. We weren't planning on keeping you guys this long, but so Kevin, one of the things we've been talking about, like you said, is execution. And there is a professional athlete, regardless of the sport, there's an amount of preparation. So talk to me in that where you're up against Mariano Rivera. What kind of preparation went in? Was that the first time you had paid any attention to the fact you might be hitting against him?
Yeah, people always ask me, what were you thinking? Because I let off that inning, game 4, when we were down 0-3. And they were up by 1 also. We were down in that inning. And, I was trying to hit a home run, to be honest with you. That was my thought. People were like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm trying to home run. We're down by 1. With Fenway Park, it's 3:08 left. I'm trying to home run. But there's a lot more that goes into it. And we talk about preparation. We talk about video. There's so much stuff at that level, almost too much. But it's having a plan. At the end of the day, I had a plan. I was trying to get a pitch inside so I could pull from my strength and use my strength and hit a home run. Whether or not he executed his pitches, which he knew he better go away because Millar has no power to right center, and the right center is 420 feet away. So that's part of the execution and the plan that you can use in anything. But that's basically was my plan, was to get a pitch in, pull something, and his plan was to get a pitch away, give me a ground out to shortstop.
Follow-up, how many hours on average did you prepare not on the field for a game?
Yeah, game time 7:05 in Major League Baseball. 7:05, boom, that's when the game starts. We're at the field by 1:30. 1:30 starts, you got video, you got workout, you got the starting pitcher that day. Using an example, if it's Randy Johnson, we're watching an hour worth of his last start. So a lot goes into it in a game. It's not just show up at 7:05 and you guys are drinking beer and eating hot dogs. We play a game and everybody goes home and everybody's making all this money. There's a ton that goes in. And I will say this, failure is a huge part of a team. Because life's not perfect. We all fail. Baseball, if you get up 500 times a year, you're failing 350 times. So you're getting out 350 times. I don't care if you strike out, line out, ground out, pop up. So I'm hitting first and I'm going back to the dugout. So how do you deal with failure? I think that's the most important thing of everything, is dealing with the failure to get out of that valley, to get back in the peaks, because this is like life. Business is great this year, up, down, we're up, economy stinks, up. That's what we deal with. Buy a house here and then you sell it down here, it stinks. But if we had tomorrow's sports page, we'd all be millionaires. But that's not real. What's real is our attitude and how we deal with failure. It's like that in sports, and it's like that in business. It's like that in companies. So that to me is the most important, is how do we all deal with when times aren't good. We can control our attitude. My dad always told me, you can't control the ball goes, but you control your effort. You can always control your effort. When you're struggling, play harder. When you're not hitting, run harder. You can control running off the field and on the field. And if you think about that, we can control our effort. Right? I mean, the sales are going to be happening, and hey, all of our bosses are happy, and The numbers are perfect, but you know what? If you're giving your effort, you control that.
Great. Any questions? Matt? Yep.
A lot of us are aware that baseball is full of idiosyncrasies and superstition. Can you tell us a story or two of some of the superstitions that you may have or some of your teammates or competitors may have experienced?
Great question. Superstitions, unbelievable question. Yes, I was a big facial hair guy. So when I wasn't hitting, something was going. Shaved the head, looked like a sperm. Terrible. True story. That's when Jeter had better hair than me. Sorry, ladies. We lost 2 games in 2003. The Oakland A's were down 0-2 to that 5-game series, and I shaved everybody's head on the way home to Boston. Theo Epstein, Gray Little, our manager. We got on the plane. We looked like all sperms. We're bobbing away. So it worked. We came back and beat Oakland. We just lost to the Yankees, so it sucked for the offseason. No more Garcia Parr's getting married that year to Mia Hamm, by the way. He didn't shave his head. And Pedro had too good of that Jerry curl. He said, nope. I got it. But I was a guy shaving. Beard, ground out, goatee, next at bat, ground out. Next thing you know, I got the Fu Man. So in 3 at-bats, I've got 3 different looks. And then the announcer was like, hey, Millar, didn't he have a beard when he first did his first step? Let's go back. And then it was goatee, then handlebar. So I was huge on facial hair, and I was huge on hair. Like, I wouldn't go back for too long, and there'd be a different look.
Might not be a bad idea, though, for the team to shave their head. Turn the numbers around. Marty.
Kevin, with all that you went through to build the career that you had and all the experiences you had, can you give us a story about what it was like your first game in the show? Everything that you went through.
Great question again. First game, I was last to be sent down in spring training 98. 97 put me on the map. I was player of the year. Said, when you're not drafted, you have no money in you. It's a business. Listen, I signed for $11 and Bobby Bloom's got $1.5 million. So the Marlins want Bobby to do well.
Don't.
He does. He works extra hard. He's really rich now. So this is what they want. Well, here I am, get set down, get called up 7 days later. I was player of the year in 97 in the minor leagues for the Marlins. So it helped me. So Jim Lee was like, they just won the World Series. 98, they call up all these young kids. Well, they call me up 8 days into the season. So I'm still in the minor league spring training. I'm like, oh my God. Called my dad, we're going to the show. We fly to Philadelphia. Greatest time ever was telling the cab, like, sir, where are you going? I'm like, take me to the vet, please. What? It's like 2000. Yeah, I'm in the big leagues. We're going to the vet. So they take you to the vet, and you got your jerseys hanging. It was the most unbelievable thing ever. I didn't play for 3 days. We go to Pittsburgh, and my first game, I pinch hit. In like the 9th inning, I walked. In the 10th inning, I ended up getting a single. So I walked and then singled, and then threw a ball away at third base that cost us the game. So it was a great day. True story.
Good question.
Kevin, everybody knows that motivation comes from within, but watching you today, like being down 0-3, what inspired you to convince your team to get motivated to win the game?
Yeah, and we can talk and make it up, and guys, you really didn't believe that you guys were going to win. I mean, you guys are really. I'm going to tell you right now, when I left, it's almost that fraud statement put a switch on. When I read that in the morning, fraud, it hit me. Just that one little word, fraud, because fraud's a big word, That was like, who's a fraud? Like, that just kind of pissed me off. I should thank Dan Chauncey instead of worrying about his hair and his red perm. But that kind of, it set me. And I knew, because I was a vocal leader for that club. David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez were the 3-4 hitters. Kurt Schilling and Pedro Martinez were a 1-2 punch. But I was that guy that had to figure it out. And so that statement and my belief of just, we're going to win this game. And we had a terrible matchup. Derek Lowe versus the Yankees, Game 4. It wasn't a great matchup for us. But if you believe in something, and I mean believe it, not just say it, right? But if you believe that you can reach some kind of goal, you can do it. I don't care what the scouts say. I don't care what the boss says. If you believe in something, you can do it. It's amazing because when you put your nose to something, you're like, man, and it kind of feels good. But that was a true. I really believed if we were going to win Game 4, then we had it. And it happened that way.
Good. 2 more.
5 more.
2 more.
Oh, Jimmy Leland. I'll tell you a great story about Jim Leland. So, Jim Leland was my first manager in the big leagues, okay? Here he is. He always wore spikes. Smoked 1,000 cigarettes a day. Grumpy old man, but talking like this, hey, didn't really talk to rookies that much, so I might be lying. He didn't say shit to me. But this guy snapped on us. 1997, the Florida Marlins won the World Series. 1998, we're that team. We've lost 100 games. It's August. We're 30-100. Poor Jim. He comes in and snaps on us. Everybody sit down! And we're all kind of getting dressed in the locker room. There's this big podium in the locker room. You guys are so full of shit, you pieces of shit. Everybody's sitting there and like, you suck, you pieces of shit. He's screaming up down the locker room. We're like, oh my God. And you're impersonating a big league uniform. Okay? That's cool. And he hits the thing and then walks out to his office. His office is like kind of over there where that speaker is, but he kind of goes off. Well, you're sitting in chairs like you guys are. And so everybody kind of fish eyes, who's going to be the first one to get up? So we kind of get up, start taking the tape off or undoing your spikes. And here comes Jim Lee. And another thing! You son of a bitch, a horse shit! Everybody sits back down, right? So everybody sits back down. Then he leaves, he walks off. Well, then you see the eye contact, and one guy starts, and like, okay, we start moving. And one more thing, and everybody sits. He screams and cusses and calls somebody else out. Well, he heads up down the aisle. We had a big old hallway. And in that hallway was the bathroom. And on that bathroom was like skating on the Toronto Maple Leafs ice rink with spikes on. And he just got done snapping. He's red. I thought he was going to have a heart attack. And all you heard was, what? Boom! Fuck! And he skipped out. Now, what do? Leader goes down. He's screaming in the bathroom. We're like, oh, shit. Skip's dead. He was one of my favorites. I still tease him this day. And the next day, he never wore spikes again. He was in turfs. So now you know why. He snapped on the 98 Marlins.
All right, so of all the pitchers you faced in the MLB, which one did you know when you went up to bat you had no chance against?
Well, a lot. True story. Remember I was undrafted. I will tell you this.
Like, who terrified you the most?
Randy Johnson, because he was so ugly. Yeah. I'll be asking this question today. Hey, do you ever get scared to face anybody? I'm like, nah, you don't get scared. We all think we're big and strong and tough. We're just, we're all rah, 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 big tobacco. But I'm going to tell you right, Randy Johnson was ugly.
Just let me point something out real quick and interrupt you. So for the folks that aren't baseball fans, Randy Johnson is about 6'5". He's got white hair.
6'10".
Yeah.
Did you tell the joke?
Okay.
6'5", white blonde hair, Norwegian.
Way better looking than Randy Johnson. Don't listen to that, okay? So, this guy, 6'10", threw 100, okay? And first game I faced him, that's no joke. I go 3 for 3, home run, double, single, 3 for 4 that day. I'm like, dude, you own Randy Johnson, you own him, dude. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I faced him the next 45 times. I was 5 for 45. He struck me out 20 times. He struck me out more than any player I've ever, or any pitcher I've ever faced. Dominated me. I'm not kidding you. I didn't get another hit, it felt like, the rest of my life. But that first game years ago, I went 3 for 3. It looks like I hit him good. And then fast forward, it was a bazillion strikeouts. But real ugly, had that long Claver's paper. He was like this. You know what Claver's paper is, guys? Yeah. He's sitting there like this, and just, whoo, he was filthy. No pun intended, Bob. Yes.
All right, one more.
No. Tell the White Sox fans. Kevin, are you going to go out? Oh, yeah? Oh, right on. Okay. Are you going to go out with us? You got it. Nice to meet you. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Awesome. Yes.